walks on by with a smile. She's so sexy, I love her style. I love her style. Way oh ya ho ha, hey oh ha, oh. She's got my heart, I won't let go. Wanna hold her close to my heart. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh.
This is Chief Rock, and I've had a few requests on how I'm making my vegan nuggets. So what I'm going to show you now is how I prepare it. You don't need to follow exactly how I do it, but this is how I like it. So we're going to do it this way, and you can change it up however you like. You can add in whatever spices you want, but I'm going to do it the way I like to do it. And so here we go. Enjoy. So the first thing that I like to add into my vegan nuggets is number one here. We need 2 cups of this. Wrong side. So we get about 2 cups of vital wheat gluten. Okay? And that goes into here. And then the next thing we need is nutritional yeast flakes. Okay? There's those bad boys right here. Okay, and then that goes in like so. Don't mind my bad camera angles here. And then what I do is I like to put some spices into it. So we're looking at, I usually use just a Italiano one-step seasoning. There's no MSG, no artificial colors. So I kind of just look at it and sort of eyeball how much I'm putting in. I put that in. I also like to put in the spicy pepper melody for a little more spice. And like I said, you could use whatever spices that you like that's flavorful for you. I'm putting in what I like. Okay. And then I get my onion powder. And I put about a tablespoon in there. Doesn't really have to be that much. There we go. That goes into the mix. So there we have it, and then I just kind of take it all and I just mix it all up in the bowl. So we kind of just mix it up like so. I mix it up till I feel like it's all well mixed. Now the nutritional yeast flake, or the vital wheat gluten, is the main part of the recipe that actually makes what you're making the chewiness. So if you don't really want to eat any gluten, don't make this. I mean, but I don't really find a problem with it. I'm okay with it. And then what I do now, I pull my blender out, And I take 6 cups of water. Okay. I pour that in the blender. I even sometimes put a little bit more. And I get one of these vegetable broth cubes. And I drop it in. That's what that looks like there. That goes in. I don't have to break it up. I'm sure the blender does a great job of breaking that up. And then I get a kind of a spoonful of this stuff right here. So I don't know, take about that much and just drop it in there. And then I blend it for about a minute just to get it all nice and like mixed up. I'll be right back. Now just blending it up for a little bit. So now we're done with the blending. It's all good and warm. I didn't really make a soup with it, but it was kind of already. I used hot water from the tap, or not from my water filter thing there. And so I just pour it into my. I have a pot here. I just pour it all into there. So now that I've done that, I'm going to bring it to a boil. But what I also do is I also take a cup of that water there that I mixed up there. So I get just about a cup, or a little bit over a cup, and I put it into my mix here. Well, I let that boil. As we can see, this stuff will get really kind of really like, you got to kind of get hands on with it. Ooh, it's really hot. So as you can see, now that we've got all the water mixture in there, it sort of turns into this sort of really stretchy kind of substance. See, it's like really, and this is what becomes really, this becomes the base of it. So and then you just tear off the chunks there and you throw it into the pot. I'll show you in a minute once I'm done mixing this all around. I'll be right back. So I really play with this, like I just kind of really work it in. Get it all nice and worked in here. Okay. Now on to the next step. So now I'm just going to sort of stir this pot. I'm going to bring it to a boil. I add in a little bit more water, and then put a little bit more broth in. And then what I do, so Sorry for the camera angles, or excuse the camera angles. It gets really hard to do everything with one hand, so I could film it. So now that we have it, and it's all worked in, I just kind of let it sit for a little bit. Sometimes I let it sit for 5 minutes, but you know, it's not super necessary. No, it's kind of big, so I like to make them like about that size, and I'll roll them up, or I'll just kind of like that, and then I just drop them in the water. I'll make this one. I'll even tear this one up so it's a little smaller. Just drop it in. It's however you like. It doesn't have to be exactly how I'm doing it. You could even stretch it out so it's like almost like a chicken nugget, like a longer one. You could do it like that. I like to keep them little bite-sized ones, because remember, when you put it in the water, it's going to expand a little bit. And that batch I showed you, you can increase it or you can decrease it by half, depending on how much you want to make. And I'm just going to keep tearing them up and throwing it into the boiling water, and I'm going to let it boil for about half an hour. And then I'll show you part 3 after I'm done doing this. So here's it boiling. It's going to boil for the next 30 minutes or so. And I'm just going to let that do its thing. It's done boiling. And I will do that. What you want to do is you want to rinse this. So let me get my pot here and rinse it off. As you can see, this is the result. I'm just going to pour that in there. Get all that juice out of there. Holds so much water. You kind of just want to like get one of these here and just kind of push it down, and I'm sure you can see that, but if you could see, just like you can see the water coming out the bottom there when you push on it. Just gonna get it out, get out as much as you can so it's not full of water. So here we go. This is what it looks like now that I've strained it. You know. So what I have here now is I have some panko breadcrumbs. You could do whatever you want with it. You could just leave it like this and sauce it up. What I would do is I would bake that in there, and then I would just sauce it up and eat like that. I like to put some breadcrumbs on there, or what I want to do is I'm going to use my blender and grind up some flax seeds and then use that as a breading instead of breadcrumbs, but for now that's all I have, so that's what we're going to do. So while we're at it, I take my Italiano sauce again and I just sort of add that in again, so it's part of the breading, and I just kind of get this and stir it around. Try and get an even distribution of, so it's all nice and spiced up. see, these are just freshly coming out of the water. I can get my tray, and I just kind of go in and I bread it up, or I add this to it. Like so, and you kind of just do that for all your pieces until you got it. I use my little oven here, but for those who want to use a big oven, by all means, I can monitor this a little bit better when I use this kind of oven as opposed to my big oven here. I can keep a kind of a closer eye on you can kind of see it as it's drawing out or as it's getting kind of like cooked. So now these bad boys are in there, they're breaded and they're ready to be put on, and then after that I add my hot sauce, and I usually like to after I sauce it, I put it in the fridge and let it cool down for a while. Like pretty much sometimes I just leave it in the fridge for a few hours, and then I come out when it's cold, and then I like to reheat them. Usually I find it when you let them totally get cold and settle, that's when it really gets its chewiness. So here we are. So these are about ready, and I'm going to pull them out, and I will put some sauce on that. So now that I sauced it up, I usually just sort of toss them around. It's a little difficult to do with one hand. You don't want to bang them around too much to knock off the breading you put on. You sort of just kind of mix them about in the bowl like so. So keep mixing them until you get it to how you like it. You know? It's looking really good there. I'm gonna have to eat this one right now. It's so good. That is really good. It all depends on what kind of sauce you want to use. I use a spicy sauce. It has a really good kick to it. I usually make mine with this stuff here, but I didn't get a chance to get the other ingredients to make it, so what I actually got was this. And it's actually really good. Really good. It tastes very good. It tastes a lot different than what I make, but you know, I like what I make anyway. But this is how you make your vegan nuggets anyway. Make it how you like. What I do after I get it to this point, I throw it in a baggie, throw it in a fridge, leave it overnight. You can eat it right away. It's really good like this. Like I'm gonna have another one. It's really good like that. But it's all up to you on how you want to do it. But I really need to make it smoother right now. So enjoy the rest of your night, evening, day, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. And go ahead and make some vegan nuggets. They're delicious. You won't have a heart attack. No cholesterol. I mean, it does have the gluten in it, but you know, it's not meat. It's not chicken. It's not beef. It's not any other kind of crap. So And you know, there are some meat lovers out there. I fooled a few meat lovers who thought it was chicken, so you know, make it and test out some of your friends who you meet, see if they can tell the difference.
And I'm